You know, making a new medicine, it's a monumental task. I mean, it can take more than a decade and cost billions of dollars. But what if we could just radically speed all of that up? Today, we're going to dive into how artificial intelligence is moving from being just hype to actually healing, aiming to revolutionize the very core of how we discover and develop life-saving drugs.
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it. This is the big promise. Traditionally, just getting a drug candidate ready for clinical trials takes, 4 to 7 years? With AI, you've got companies like Lantern Pharma who are aiming to slash that to just 2 or 3. And that's not just some small efficiency gain. We're talking about potentially years of life given back to patients. And make no mistake, this isn't some minor tweak to the system. As Lantern Pharma's CEO, Panna Sharma, puts it, this is a technology that's poised to shake up the entire chain. Seriously, from the very first idea for a new target in the body, all the way to getting a pill into a patient's hand. That's the scale of the revolution we're really talking about here.
So all this talk about speed, what does it actually look like in practice? Let's get into some real-world examples where the theoretical power of AI is finally meeting the messy reality of pharmaceutical R&D.
The acceleration here is, well, it's just stunning. Get this. AstraZeneca spent 3 whole months using traditional methods to find high-quality antibody leads. And you know what they came up with? 0. Nothing. Then, they unleashed an AI on the problem. In just 3 days, it found 173 high-quality leads. That's a mind-blowing shift from getting nowhere to having a wealth of possibilities in less than a week.
And this really shows how AI isn't just a one-trick pony. Just look at Pfizer's COVID-19 treatment, Paxlovid. AI was everywhere in this thing. First, it helped scientists find a molecule that could be taken as a simple pill at home, which was a huge game changer for access. Then it crunched through all the clinical trial data 50% faster. And it didn't even stop there. AI optimized the entire supply chain, cutting manufacturing time by 2/3 and somehow squeezing out 20,000 extra doses from every single batch. It touched every single step of the process. So you're probably wondering, how are these companies actually doing this stuff? Well, it kind of boils down to 3 main strategies. First, you've got repurposing. That's using AI to find new jobs for old, already approved drugs. The risk there is pretty high that it just won't work on the new target. The second approach is to take a well-known target and use AI to design a better, more effective molecule to hit it. That's more of a chemistry challenge. And then there's the most ambitious model, using AI to find brand new targets and design totally new molecules from the ground up. Super high risk, for sure, but the reward could be absolutely massive. Okay, so this brings us to the business impact. I mean, it's one thing to see these amazing results in a lab, but how is this all translating into actual value, for these massive global companies? Let's take a look at the numbers. All right, here's a big one for you, $500 million. That's the amount of measurable business value Johnson & Johnson generated in just 3 years from its AI initiatives. Now, this isn't some wild projection or a theoretical saving. This is documented financial impact. It's proof of a real return on their investment. So how did they do it? Well, through incredible scale. J&J didn't just dip its toes in the water with a few pilot programs. No, they launched nearly 900 generative AI projects across the entire company. This was an all-in approach, weaving AI into everything from R&D all the way to HR.
And the results? You can see them right across the board. In one facility, AI drove a 40% boost in productivity. Company-wide, it helped them cut energy use by 10%, and, this is a big one, it decreased workplace safety incidents by 30%. These are real, tangible improvements that help the bottom line and, more importantly, keep their employees safer.
But, of course, the technology alone isn't going to cut it. To make all of this happen, J&J had to invest in people. They now employ 6,000 data science and digital specialists. Think about that, an internal army of experts built to drive this transformation from the inside out. That is a massive competitive advantage. Okay, so the speed is revolutionary. The business impact is enormous. The whole story seems almost too good to be true, right? And that brings us to a pretty crucial question. After all the hype, all the investment, all of these incredible efficiency gains, where are the actual medicines? The ones that were born from AI, fully approved and sitting on pharmacy shelves right now? The answer is 0. As of today, not a single novel drug that was discovered and designed from scratch by an AI has achieved full clinical approval. It's a really sobering reality check that forces us to look past the hype and ask, why? So what's the holdup? Well, the challenges are immense. For one, there aren't even clear benchmarks to measure what success looks like. A huge amount of super valuable scientific data is basically unreadable by AI. It's locked away in old PDFs. Then you have these massive legal and regulatory hurdles. Like, can an AI be listed as an inventor on a patent? Right now, the courts say no. And on top of all that, it's incredibly hard to find people who are experts in both artificial intelligence and biology.
All right, so where do we go from here? This isn't really a story of failure, but more of an evolution. The industry is starting to move past this idea of AI as some kind of magic bullet, and they're heading toward a more nuanced, and ultimately, I think, a more powerful vision.
And that brings us to this key concept that's emerging, the augmented drug hunter. The goal is no longer to replace brilliant scientists with an algorithm. Instead, it's to give those scientists an incredibly powerful co-pilot, a tool that can analyze data at a scale no human ever could. It's about enhancing their expertise and intuition to make them faster, smarter, and more effective.
And it seems like the medical community is really on board with this vision. When a bunch of physicians were asked what their biggest hopes for AI were, their expectations were pretty clear. A huge chunk of them, 80%, are hoping for faster drug discovery. Another big group, 75%, are looking for treatments for rare diseases. And a similar amount see the biggest potential in just creating smarter, more effective clinical trials.
The ultimate dream here, the holy grail, is truly personalized medicine. Just imagine a future where AI can identify a disease target that's unique to you, design a molecule that fits your specific biology perfectly, and then predict with incredible accuracy how you'll respond to it. This is the end of one-size-fits-all medicine. It's the beginning of safer, more effective, tailor-made treatments.
But, with all this incredible power comes profound responsibility. As Kim Branson from GSK makes crystal clear, you can't build these world-changing tools on incomplete or biased data. The industry has a serious ethical imperative to make sure that AI-developed medicines work for everyone, not just the populations that are the easiest to study. And all of this brings us back to the ultimate takeaway. The goal has shifted. It's no longer about replacing the scientist, it's about building a better one, powered by these incredible new tools.
AI is giving us the tools to fundamentally upgrade human scientific capability. It's a transformation that requires not just new tech, but new skills, new regulations, and frankly, a whole new way of thinking. So the question is no longer if AI can change medicine, but if we as a society are truly ready to change with it.